I'm after finding the microphone, and after hooking it up, and I'm driving up to Cork, and I said, you know what? Said to myself, I'll make a video now to see does the microphone work. If it works, you're going to see this video, and if it doesn't, you'll never see it. That's the only video I can show it to you. Because the last couple of ones I made while driving, the sound was absolutely rubbish. I'm just heading away off for a weekend, just to kind of go out on my own for the weekend, just to wander around and potter around and spend a bit of time inside my own head. Even though my head is good, there's no issues or problems, my head is good. I'm looking forward to this weekend. The shop is open. It's a bank holiday weekend in Skull. The shop is open, and I've been very, very busy and working flat out since last September, and I decided now to take a couple of days to myself and strike away. Just to point out and just to say that the divorce is now, I'm divorced, the divorce is behind me. Not going to talk about any of it, but just other than to say that it's now behind me. I'm divorced. I'm now completely free, and free to get on with my life and rebuild and try and find live my life now. So I have to make decisions now. All along, it's very easy to, because I was still strings and all the rest attached, and there was a lot of decisions that couldn't be made. I can now make whatever decisions I want for my life going forward. So that's what I suppose even this weekend is about, is to spend a little bit of time now and see what does Eddie want to do for the rest of his life, or not even for the rest of my life. What do I want to do next? Now, I'm not making a huge long plan, because life throws all kinds of things at you, but what do I want to do next? And so that's it. I'm on the way up to Cork, to the airport. We're getting on an airplane and we are flying across the Irish Sea. When I say we, I mean me. The things I was thinking about on the way up, because food plays a huge part of my life, and I love my food, but I'm not a very complicated person when it comes to food either. Even though I will try anything, I'm not very complicated. And I suppose the one thing, since I've been living on my own now for maybe the last 4 months, that I've realised a couple of things. Very lucky to be living in a time where, most supermarkets and places, not even supermarkets, small shops and delicatessens and all these wonderful people, food producers, there's a lot of things set up now for single people, where you can go in and buy ready-made meals and really nice shepherd's pies, and shout out to Drina there now in Skibbereen. They're doing an absolutely beautiful supermarket there, shepherd's pie, and you just take it home, put it into the oven, freshly made. Now, I'm not on about these things where, you see, there's two types. There's the people that make the stuff and sell it in their shops. It's made on site, more or less. They sell it in their shop. It's fresh, it's lovely. And then there's an awful lot of this pre-fucking packaged shite that, you'd see them there, and long life stuff, or whatever. I don't know where they come from. Roast beef dinners and all this old shit, and God almighty, it's horrific. And if you read the instruction or the ingredients at the bottom of it and see what stuff is inside it, I got a thing there the other day. I was looking for mashed potatoes, and I normally get the mashed potatoes next door to me in Skull there, and in Ross's Spar. Jesus, they do a lovely tray of mashed potatoes, right? Cooked. You take it home, you heat it up in the microwave or in the oven again, or whatever you want, and all it is just beautiful, simple, plain mashed potato, right? With a bit of butter ran through it, I suppose, and whatever. And that's the way it should be. It's beautiful. You just get potatoes. I was in Skibbereen the other day, and I was kind of stuck in it, and I looked at the thing. It's called Chef in a Box, and it said mashed potatoes, and I took it home and I heated it in the microwave for about 40 minutes, like you're supposed to. It was absolutely fucking awful. Oh my, I wasn't eating it anyway. It was absolutely, I couldn't describe it. It was like glue. And Christ says, what's in the name of God happened to this? So I took the packaging back out of the bin and read the bottom of it, you should see the list of ingredients. Things that I couldn't even produce. And I think somewhere down the end of it, then natural flavourings, whatever, in the name of God, natural flavourings are. Like, my point is, why? You know, and of course you can give anything a really fancy Bob's name, because when you see a name like that, you kind of think, oh, that's artisan, and you know, they have all these things now where they use all these buzzwords, organic and artisan, and you know, all this kind of stuff. It's the same as they putting you know, they can put Irish chicken fillets on things, on chicken fillets that came in from Vietnam. It's insane stuff, like. Cool, yeah. But anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a big tangent. But anyway, these things were absolutely awful. And it got me thinking, I normally don't buy that kind of stuff. I try to get something that's made fresh, because there's so many things, so many wonderful people making such wonderful, really, really nice food that's designed for families or couples or men or women living on their own, that you can take home and put into the oven. And I suppose I was just trying to think to myself, I've the last 4 months have been a real learning curve to me, because I've bought some things that are absolutely awful, and then I found some really, really nice stuff. And you know, like, and I'm going to shout out a few of the good places now. I'm not going to go on naming the stuff that's rubbish, or names of places that's rubbish, but that's not fair either. Those people are trying to make a living too. But you know, like the stuffed olive there in Bantry now, their stuff, oh my God, it's just unbelievable. It is so good. Everything they do, you can walk in there and get, obviously they do all the baking and the cakes and stuff. I don't really buy that, because I try to avoid it. Their stuff is gorgeous, the cakes and things, but they'll do stuff like, you know, shepherd's pies and beef stews and mashed potatoes and all that kind of stuff. Really, really beautiful, high quality, just proper stuff, which is just proper homemade stuff. There's a fish kitchen in Bantry. If you ever want to just get fish that you put into the oven, go into the fish kitchen in Bantry. Fresh as you can get. Scampi, you know, monktail scampi, hake, I think they do hake, monkfish, I don't know, loads of fish, right? You just take it home, put it into the oven. It's coated and all in breadcrumbs, and it's as fresh could be. In fact, I'll go so far as to say, if you ever eat the fish from the fish kitchen in Bantry, you would never again have any mess on any other supermarket fish product. And I'll stand over that, and I'd challenge anybody to actually eat their stuff and then tell me that this product out of a supermarket is as good as it, because it's not. Their stuff, and this is again a small business. These people are buying the fish, making up the product themselves, as fresh as can be, into the oven. I'd eat a bucket of it. It's so good. And to be fair, like, there's different places. Fields in Skibbereen do a really nice mashed potato with, I thought it was cabbage forever inside it, but it's kale or something. It's absolutely gorgeous. Inside in a round foil thing, and there's butter and all inside it. Just ordinary mashed potatoes and kale inside it. Nothing else, you know. Drina and Skibbereen, shepherd's pie. Their shepherd's pie is, without any doubt, the best. And to be fair, O'Keefe's and Bantry do a nice shepherd's pie too, but I think the one in Drina, for me, is just absolutely amazing. Sorry, you see, I got to thinking about food, because I'm going away for the weekend, and the last day when I came out of the court above in Cork, it was around lunchtime, and of course, me being me, I was starving anyway, and I said, where would I go for food? And the country, the world, you see, it got me thinking, the way things have changed since I was a child. Now I'm 55. The changes that have been made in the last even 40 years, give it, as regards food and what we eat, are frightening. And And I suppose you don't realise it until you step back and you find yourself living on your own and you're thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner today and the next day. Because I suppose when I was married and within the family, I didn't have to think all the while about that. You know, my wife and stuff with me, that was her, it wasn't her job, God, it was nothing to say, but that's what she used to do a lot of that. And I'm very thankful to her for it, because now I realise that it's, you know, it's challenging when you want to try and eat something, you don't want to be eating shite all the time, quick and handy stuff, and it can be challenging to find stuff, you know, and different ideas and come up with things. And the way the world has gone now, like the world is full up of, certainly the Western world anyway, of gourmet burgers and smash burgers and coffee shops. And the day of the traditional old restaurant is gone, like, and I mean, it is gone in the sense that you can still go into places and there's lots of, obviously, pubs doing food and restaurants and thing, and they'll do, you know, roast beef dinners and all the rest of it, but every single thing they'll do, they're trying to pimp it up, you know. It's like, you can't get no simple food, is what I'm saying. Even a roast beef dinner now doesn't taste like a roast beef dinner used to, you know. And no, it still tastes good, but it's not the same as it. I don't know, I suppose I'm very simple in my food, and Jesus, the vegetables you get, no stuff, sure, the carrots, there's no taste of them. It's unbelievable how they manage to fuck up a carrot to that degree. Go in anywhere, and the carrots are just, you know what they're like just water. You know, when they boils the carrots and gives them out to that way, stuff they do, I don't know. But anyway, and that's fine, and there's a place for all that, and that's what this generation wants. And I enjoy gourmet burgers and smash burgers and fancy roast beef dinners the same as anyone else, and it's really nice. But there's times when, I suppose, do you remember the High Style restaurant in Skibbereen? Anybody that's from around West Cork will remember the High Style. Oh, jeepers, lads. Right, working man, ordinary family food restaurant, right? You went in, back in the day, you went in, you got your bowl of soup, oxtail or vegetable soup, your dinner, bacon and cabbage, chicken and ham, whatever, boiled potatoes, mashed potatoes, maybe a few chips if you wanted them, proper vegetables, bowl of rice pudding or bread and butter pudding, mug of tea, and out the door. You would be in and out in 30 minutes if you wanted to, and the whole thing was served up at a really, really reasonable price. No frills attached, just proper food, proper vegetables, proper everything. Oh Jesus, that was like in and out for your dinner. And those places are gone, is what I'm saying. They're gone. Because even though what they're doing, where you could get time to eat and rush and sit and talk, you know. Even though where you get the 4 courses and stuff, and you can still get all that, like, you know, it's still on the menu. But it's all, I'm going to use the word, pimped up so much that it's unrecognisable. They're trying to make everything fancy. It doesn't matter what they'll give you now, they're trying to make it fancy. Even the full Irish breakfast. And I suppose that's fine, and there's a place for that, and I do enjoy that too. But on a day-to-day, I suppose on a day-to-day basis, for people that are living on their own, and maybe don't have the facilities, or maybe the mindset to cook, or the skills, there's also a need for places like say, there was the High Style restaurant in Skibbereen. So anyway, I came out of, there's an end to the story, I came out of the courthouse the other day, I was bloody starving. And I suppose I was driving up the road again, and I was in the morning, and I'd only had a slice of toast before I left my own place, and I was saying where to go for the grub now again. And even in Cork City is a big place. Obviously I don't know everywhere you go, and you will get nice carveries and all the rest of it in different places, but I wouldn't know where to head for those really in the city centre. And I was thinking, where will I eat now? And I said, I'll probably end up now in outside for a gourmet burger again. I've all the signs of it, look at me, the size of me. And the next thing, do you know what came into my head? Christ, there's a restaurant there in Oliver Plunkett Street, Kelly's Restaurant. It's upstairs over a pub. It's down near the Grand Parade end of Oliver Plunkett Street. No, I used to go in there and go with my parents. That'll tell you that restaurant must be there a long, long time. And real old school restaurant. So, geez, I stopped the car that morning before I ever went any further, and I googled it to see if it's still there, and it is. Jeez, this is whenever I come out of there now, I'm going straight for Kelly's. Care what time of day or night it is. Down I went anyway, guys, and upstairs, and it was there the same as if time stood still. And oh, what a beautiful, beautiful sight. It's so nice. It's still there. It still looks the same. It's still there. Oh my God. So, geez, I went in anyway, make long story short. In I went, and if I can, I'm going to put a photograph of the menu up on this video somewhere, if I can figure that out. Bowl of vegetable soup, like, obviously I'm presuming, I could be wrong, packet vegetable soup, which is beautiful, right? In you go, sit down. There was loads of single people there, and you know, and you could tell older people and stuff, older couples and things. Vegetable soup. I did bacon and cabbage. Oh, I haven't seen bacon and cabbage. I know when last I see it. And the last few times I've seen bacon and cabbage, I've ordered it on menus, but it comes out and just pimped up so much that it's not bacon and cabbage. You know, like, you can get, there's places now give you bacon and cabbage. They cut the fat off the bacon before they give it out. Who does that? Like, the bacon and cabbage, the fat is the best part of it. Kelly's anyway, out it came, grand plate of bacon and cabbage and turnip, a few carrots. Sorry, I hope the coffee didn't, you know. A few carrots. You could have boiled or mashed potatoes. I had the mashed potatoes and white sauce, right? On the side, ball of white sauce. Oh Jesus, lads! The cabbage and the turnip, just boiled. Everything boiled. The bacon boiled. Like, I mean, you're talking just boiled food, right? With a white sauce on the side. No prima donnas inside in the kitchen. Nobody trying to pimp it up, reinvent it. That's what they're doing. You see, that's what I'm saying is they're all trying to reinvent the wheel now when it comes to food. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. There's no need to try and do that. It was the finest dinner I have eaten. And you must bear in mind, like, I've been the last 12 months, I was over in England at Corkley. We've had fantastic Indian meals. We were in the Abbot's Table in Tewkesbury, and we village steaks, and we've had it all. This simple bacon and cabbage dinner inside in Kelly's Restaurant in Oliver Plunkett Street in Cork did the whole lot, hands down. And then the next thing, a bowl of rice pudding, homemade boiled up rice pudding like my mother make it, right? And the bacon and cabbage, the same thing as my mother gave it to me. No frills attached. The rice pudding, a knob of fresh cream inside in the middle of it, and a spoon of jam. Oh my God, you know something. If I was at home, I'd pick up the bowl and lick it. And then a cup of grand strong tea. And the best part of it, I'm in Clonakilty now. And then the best part of it, two lovely women from Cork. Yeah, alright, boy, have enough there, boy. Just lovely women, right? Grand Corkonian women, salted air people serving. And the whole thing, the 4 courses now, right? Everything, €24. God save us. I mean, if I was living there, I'd be in there twice a week. And you could just get the main course on its own if you want. Like, I mean, if you were going there every day, you could just go and have the bacon and cabbage today. You could have the chicken and ham tomorrow. You could have whatever. You could get your dinner there. I think the main course is €16 on its own, and what great value. The I mean, God, I gave them €30, and it was cheap at that. Just for the whole thing, just the fact that they were there. Long may they stay there, is what I'm saying. And I hope they're there for as long as I'm around anyway, because that'll be my go-to restaurant in Cork. Was it himself? That's kind of it. Now I'm off up to the airport, heading away. By the time you'll be watching this, it'll be way later down the line. I hope that didn't come across now as being a kind of a rant, but it's just, you know what, it's just my thoughts and the whole thing anyway. And I suppose I'm craving ordinary food. You see, I have a grand setup back in my flat. I have an air fryer and I have a small countertop oven. There's actually I have hobs. I have an oven with hobs on it, electric hobs, but I don't even own a pot or a frying pan either. And I'm not going to go down that road because I'm living there on my own, and that's my thing. I suppose you call me. I'm too busy. I could take time out. Maybe I'm too lazy. Too much effort to go for me now to go cooking bacon and cabbage being awful effort. Maybe I should do it. Fuck, there's too much in it, too much of an effort. I'd make it. I hardly know how to do it. As simple as it is. And so I suppose I'm craving that kind of food because I've been eating. And in fairness, I have been eating good. Like I've been eating well, but eating too well really. But that's kind of my top of thought. I'm in Ballinascarty. I've been talking now for 26 minutes. Oh, do you know where I'm going now? I got up this morning early, right? It's talking about food, my stomach's starting to grumble. Got up this morning early, about 6:30, went out, had a walk. Came back, I had a cup of tea. And I one small bread roll. I toasted that. Changed the bed because I'm going away. And so I always like coming back to a fresh bed. Changed the rest of the duvet cover again. God save us, the duvet cover. That's always a great challenge to me. And in fairness, I'll change my bed every week, once a week. I'll never let it go longer than a week because I don't think that's. I like it's nice to have a nice clean bed. And you know, like God Almighty, cleanliness and all that, personal hygiene is very important. And a nice clean bed. God, getting into a nice clean bed at night, it'd be beautiful. But I now changed the bed because I have a nice clean bed and I come back. And I had a shower, got everything kind of sorted, double checked and triple checked everything. Had forgot to take the phone charger with me, put that into the suitcase then. And here I am on the road. I struck off, picked up a couple of hitchhikers outside Ballyhow. I had a great chat with them. A man going to the market in Skibbereen, and another Ukrainian girl who's working in hairdressers in Bantry. Lovely girl. She was coming in, going into your day's work. And that reminded me of when I was sure when we were 15 and 16 and 17. When I was 10 and 11, we used to tum everywhere. You'd never see anybody tumming or hitchhiking now. The way the world has gone, we used to tum everywhere. Cycle or tum, all over Cork County. But so that was nice. Picked up to do with him, and I lovely chat with him. And I'm heading up now, and I have it in my head that I'm going to. I have to stop somewhere now for the jumbo breakfast roll. And there's in the Shannon there, the place on the left, the way into the Shannon. They do a nice breakfast roll, so I think that'll kind of be my location. Looking forward to that now, a cup of tea and a breakfast roll. And then high hot tippity up into Cork Airport and get on board the aluminium budgie, and away off we'll go. And tonight, no, I'll have a few pints tonight. I'd never drink since I did drink at Christmas. We went out for the staff party, and before that I had a drink September when I was in England with Pat Coakley. We had a few pints every night that night. And I went out the 20th of December. We had a brilliant staff party with the girls, and geez, I had a drink because you'd have to be sociable. It was their party. They worked hard all year for me, and it was important that to make the night enjoyable for them. I couldn't be sitting there drinking sparkling water looking depressed. But anyway, I haven't had a drink in a long time. I've drank very little over the last few years because of the way everything was in my life. But now that the clouds are clearing, the sky is letting the light through again, sun is coming, and we'll get back on track. I'm going to have a few pints tonight. Now I'll be sitting there drinking them on my own. That is okay, unless of course I find love in the meantime, which which is unlikely. And but I don't mind that, pondering, and you know, that's all I be doing, sitting there pondering, have a few pints, have a bite of food, and down the line we'll start living a little. This is kind of the start of maybe starting to live a little again, a little, bit by bit, and yeah, look forward to that. Right, that's enough ramblings. I'm going now, because I'm definitely going now for the next place you're going to see me now is having a camera around there that you can be seeing the road. Jesus, I'd be nearly better wanted when I'm doing these, if I do any of these videos now. Sure, I could have the camera on there on the road, and I'm passing now. I'm coming up there now to where Hosfords were, the garden centre, and I'm not far away now, about another 15-20 minutes. I'll be having the breakfast. I could go into Billy's Diner. In fairness, the food is very good. Billy's Diner as well. Katie was my little girl Katie. She's kind of, we're diagnosing that she's gluten intolerant, you know, with gluten and thing. And it's kind of very difficult. So she loves her burgers, chips, and coke, and it's very difficult to find places that'll do gluten-free burgers and stuff. Now I know, in fairness, the guys beyond the fish basket do. They have gluten-free stuff. but Billy's Diner here in Bandon, they have a huge gluten-free menu, burgers and pizzas and all their chips, and they'll do most things gluten-free. And good to know, just put that out there if anybody's got gluten issues. You know, that the fish basket have gluten-free options below in the Long Strand. I know that. And also Billy's Diner have a really big gluten-free menu. So I suppose I could go in there, alright, and get the I could go in there and get the full Irish at this hour in the morning. Jesus, went to be grand tune. I'd get the toast and the marmalade. I like a bit of marmalade. Do you know, I think that's what I'll do. So I have plenty of time, and that'll set the day off grand. I went. The chips look gorgeous. I know it's early in the morning, but look, orange juice, tea, the finest fry you ever see. God save us, that is good, isn't it? Yep, that's me. That set me up for the day anyway. Jeez, that was very good. That's me set up now for the day anyway. The chips were an optional extra, and I went for them, in the sense that, like the breakfast there, no fine big breakfast, €14. The orange juice, the tea, the toast, and the fry. I gave €4 extra for the chips, and in hindsight, I shouldn't have done it. That was pure greed now. There's no wonder I'm as fucking fat as I am, and I'm continuously saying I'm going to lose weight, or try to lose weight. I'll turn you around there now, you don't need to be. But, it's very difficult when you like your food as much as I do, and I do eat in excess. That's something I know I'm going on about it now. Videos, I really do need to try and get a handle on that. And it's so strange because I gave up smoking. I was a chain smoker, and I gave up smoking 25 years ago now. Is it? It must be. And actually, the way I gave up smoking, I had every single thing tried. I'll tell you that about smoking and stuff, because, you know, Jesus, if I look at people that are smoking, I don't ever look at them with any kind of you know, some people be giving out all their smoking, all their money. Why, Jesus, I can fucking tell you, it's not easy to give up smoking at all. So it's not like nobody's burning money because they want to. I smoked. I started smoking, of course, when I was like everyone back in the day when we were about 12 or 13. You know, first of all you wouldn't be inhaling. The next thing you start inhaling, and I'd say I started smoking with Morris Quinlan. Myself and Morris were kind of just in with it. Myself and Morris got really hooked on the cigarettes. Yeah, Carol's and Major. Sure, we were very young at the time, 12 or 13 years old. And first year in school, we were smoking. It was all the rage at the time, everyone was at it. And sure, the next thing you become addicted, which we did. And I smoked all the way, and I was a fairly, like everything I do, I'm a bit excessive with it. I'm all in. This is what something other woman said to me one day, you're all, no matter what you do, you're all in. And Carol's then became my cigarette of choice. And I was so stuck and addicted to Carol's. I'd smoke Carol's or Major, or maybe Vincent and Hedges if I was stuck, because you couldn't always get them. And the time I went over to America, when I went over to see Morris Quinlan in America at one stage for I was there 6.5 weeks. Jesus Christ, I don't know how many Carol cigarettes I brought with me. A gear bag full of them. I bought a right load of them off of Brosnan Supermarket in Skull that time. And then I went up to Cork Airport, and you're allowed 200 in Cork Airport at the time. And then when you got on the airplane, you could get another 200. And it was an Aer Lingus flight, so they'd give you Carol's as well. So I got another 200 on the Aer Lingus flight. Then I landed in London Heathrow. And it was Benson and Hedges all you could get in that, because I was going from Heathrow to Chicago. But I got 200 Benson and Hedges there, and then up on the plane again I got another 200. So between the flights and the airport I got 800 cigarettes. Say 400 Carols and 400 B&H. And Jesus, I had, for God's sake, I had 1,000 or 1,200 bought off of Brosnan's before I ever left. And I had an open-ended ticket, and I remember Morris saying to me, how long are you staying? And I opened the gear bag, just full up of cigarettes, and I said until they're gone. Because I was so bad I couldn't smoke anything else, like Camel or Marlboro. I thought Marlboro tasted like horse shit. That's how bad I was. And anyway, in the end, I was, you'd hear all these, I was smoking 200 a day, and they'd be over-exaggerating it and everything. All these old ones, I smoked 100 a day. God knows, I don't know about that, but I was smoking 40 Carol cigarettes every day, and it wasn't probably 40, but certainly 37 or 8. First thing I do when I'd wake in the morning, I was driving a van when I gave them up, the Mizzenlink Courier Service, if anybody remembers that. And I'd be passing down through Ballyhob in the morning. Ivan came here, used to be open early, because I'd be going very early. Ivan used to be there extremely early, after 6 o'clock in the morning. I go into Ivan, I get 40 carols every single morning. And by the time I go to bed at night, there would be 1 or 2 of them left. And geez, I'd everything tried. Lads, I'd it all tried. Hypnosis. I tried hypnosis. I tried, I don't know how many packets of the nicotine chewing gum. The patches. God's sake, we had it all tried. And Miriam was pregnant with Leah, my eldest daughter at the time, or my first daughter. I was about 30 years old, I suppose. And whatever switch went inside my head one day, I was thinking, of my life now. I was married and with a child baby coming. Now my life is going to change. And I just remember thinking to myself, I do not want to be standing over the cot or the buggy or whatever, my newborn baby, with a cigarette in my hand, or wanting to put her down to go outside for a cigarette, or some people saying, I want to smoke in the same room as her and all the rest of it. So that would mean that I'd have to put her away, that I hand her back to somebody, because I'd be going out for a cigarette, because that's the way her life would be the whole time. You see, that time we were being boxed into a corner, because around that time, and I'm going back now to 2000, the year 1999, 2000, Jesus, the writing was on the wall for smokers in restaurants and pubs and all that kind of stuff. I don't know when the ban came in, but it was there was a lot to talk about it. The tide was turning on the smoker. Up to that, you were not ball out if you didn't smoke. But now the tide was beginning to turn, and it was becoming, more awkward. Smoking was in places. So then, to smoke, you had to make an excuse to go out nearly to smoke. People didn't want you to smoke in the house and so on. and I didn't like smoking. We were smoking in the house at the time, and even though Miriam didn't smoke much, but she still smoked a cigarette, and I was smoking in the house, but I was making rules that I didn't want to smoke in the house. Like, I mean, for Jesus, back in the day, I used to be smoking in the bedroom. We used to smoke in the bed, for fuck's sake. And thankfully, we were self-policing that. And that was kind of a changing point. I said, I don't want this in my life. And I began to look at the cigarettes as somebody that I didn't want in my life anymore, someone I hated, imagine if you were working with somebody that you didn't like every single day. You had to go into work with them, or indeed you could use another metaphor. You could say that you were married to someone that you hated, and you had to every single day you had to go into work. You had to work with this person. You had to spend 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours a day with them, and you hated the sight of them, but you had no other choice. You had to work with them. That's how I began to look at cigarettes, as seeing them as a person actually that I fucking hated, but that I had no other choice. I had to be with them. And bit by bit the hate grew and grew and grew inside me, until, which does happen to me eventually, a switch goes in my head, and I woke up one morning. We were out August weekend below in the, what was the Galley bar at the time, in Skull. It is now the townhouse. And I was out August weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, drinking and smoking. And up to Sunday, I had kind of decided, I had made no thought or decision that I was going to give up the cigarettes again, because any other time you've done it, like, you'd be planning, you'd be giving a date, and I'm going to give them up now the first of the month or New Year and all this. I hadn't thought about it at all, but it was niggling away inside my head. And I remember waking up on this Sunday morning, and this switch went. I could feel it going inside my head, and I said, that's it. I am done. I looked at the cigarettes. I said, I am fucking done with you. I am getting you out of my fucking life. And like, I had gone to bed the night before, not thinking that. It's strange, And I was out the night before, I was smoking, and didn't think anything of it. I went to bed a smoker, and just woke in the morning, whatever move I made, and that was it. I stopped smoking. And the test to me was to go out the Sunday night. We went out the Sunday night again. Sure, we spent, out for a few drinks. We were young and free at the time. And we went out on the Sunday night again. And I went out, and I remember we were inside in the Black Sheep at the time. Or it was called the Waters at that time. It was owned by Tom Brosnan, or it was the Brosnans had it. And tore out, stood at the counter and tore up every beer mat, about 100 beer mats. I kept all night there and was fidgeting. But I said to myself, if I could manage to go out on Sunday night and drink 4 or 5 pints, or even 6 pints at a time, and come home and wake up Monday morning and not have smoked, that I would do then. And I managed to wake up on the Monday bank holiday, and I hadn't smoked on the Sunday night, and I said, that's it, I'm done. So I was driving a courier van at the time, Missing Link, drove up to Cork on the Tuesday morning, and there's some people now might remember this, because they were the people that I had to do, I had jobs to do for them, night collections. Drove up to Cork on the Tuesday morning in the van, and I shit you not, I'm not making this up. And I didn't have a whole pile of collections, maybe some 7 or 8 to do. But then you see, when you'd be above, the phone would be ringing the whole time, and you'd be collecting more and more and more. Drove up, and there's a service station there it's up the top of the Monaghan Road, or the Centre Park Road there. There was a kind of a service station there. You would pull in there by a roundabout. Managed to get as far as there and pull in. I used to go there a lot of mornings and have a cup of tea and stuff, and I get up on a scone and a cigarette, normally. When then anyway, I'd normally have smoked 3 or 4, got my cigarettes and Ivans, and I'd be after smoking 3 or 4 going up the road. Jeez, I pulled into the service station there, and it hit me, because I was probably about nearly 48 hours after without smoking at that stage. and the realisation of the work that was ahead and stuff. I froze, paralysed. So the phone was ringing. I never answered the phone. I could not answer the phone to anyone else. And the 7 or 8 pickups that I had to do, I rang them one by one in the morning time. I had to get it out of my head. Just started ringing people. I said, I said the van is broke down. I'm not in Cork or whatever. I said, oh no, I didn't say I wasn't in Cork. I said the van is after breaking down. I said I won't be in a position to collect the packages. I'll try and get them tomorrow if that's any good. Some of them made other arrangements with other couriers, and more of them said fair enough, tomorrow I'll be fine. And I went right in and I parked the van in different places because I had to keep moving every hour, different service stations and stuff. I wanted to keep moving because I didn't need to look stupid. And you know what I did? I sat inside the van and I gave the most of the day, the morning, crying. And I mean crying emotionally, fucking crying. I was in some state. Bawling, crying, like real crying. Breaking down, crying. And crying because I was depressed that I had let myself get into that state, that I allowed nicotine and cigarettes to take hold of me like that. I was an addict, an out-and-out addict. And the costume too, like in fairness, what money I was spending on them every week. And I was spending money we were obviously a family at the time, we were married, and there was a baby coming along the line. And I was spending, I was probably spending a third of our wages on cigarettes alone for myself. So the selfishness and all of that, to do that to your family, like. And I was so distraught over all of that. And I said, I can't give in. And then I started looking at the cigarettes like it was a person, and I was saying, you're not going to fucking win. Like, you're not going to win. I was getting angrier and crosser. It was like, I was looking at cigarettes like somebody talking me into having them, and I shouting and roaring at them, no way, you're not going to win. So that kind of passed that day, and I got home, and I went back up the following day, and I did a few jobs, but I didn't answer the phone much. And kind of went on that way for the week. I was kind of only firing on one cylinder. And I used to have good hours and bad hours. You'd have hours where you'd feel euphoric, and then you'd have other hours where you'd feel completely depressed. It was very, very, very difficult. And I was getting headaches, and I was brain fog or whatever they call it. And to make a long story longer, it kind of went on that way. About a couple of weeks I thought I was clear of him. Jesus, there was one day I was coming down what we call the North Road. And I was coming into Ballyneen in the ski. And I knew when I left Bandon, I was getting a right craving. And just I knew myself that I was losing the battle that day. Maybe about 2 weeks after. And I came down. And when I got as far as Ballyneen or Inniskeen, whichever one of them towns there, I pulled in. There was a shop in down the left, and I pulled in. No other choice. I was being possessed to pull in. And I went in and I bought 20 carols. And you wouldn't mind. You see, if I was codding myself and saying that I was only going to smoke a few, I'd have only bought 10. But I was so resigned to the fact that I was after losing the battle, I went in and I bought 20 carols. I brought them out. This is a true story now. I brought them out. I opened up the packaging, took the foil off the 20 cigarettes, and I was about to take one. I took one out, kind of pulled it half out, and the next thing I was fighting so hard not to do it. God almighty, the fight of an addict is unreal, like what you have to do. There's a strength you have to have. And I pushed the cigarette back into the box, and I put it up in the dash. I was driving a Ford Transit. Put it up in the dash. I took off driving, started the van again, I took off driving. And there was a sense of relief. I was happy that, I suppose, it kind of, it helped the craving to know that I had the cigarettes on me, that they were there, and that I could smoke one anytime I wanted to. And the next thing, the mood kind of came good again in my head, passed away, and I drove away anyway, and I didn't have a cigarette the rest of that day. And that box was up on the dash. I couldn't be entirely sure it wasn't there that long. It was there maybe 2 or 3 more weeks. And I had a whiteboard at home. We had a little office inside in the house because I was self-employed in one of the bedrooms. There was a there was a big and a small whiteboard. That's what you'd have that time. So there was no internet really, or bit. And well, no smartphones and stuff. And there was one day I was coming down the road, and I was between Bandon and Clonakilty. And it was whatever happened, again, it was like this other switch went inside my head. I looked at the box of cigarettes, and I said, that's it. I said, I'm fucking done with you. I have to be careful cursing, I suppose they won't allow me to put it up on YouTube. I said, I'm fucking done with you. And I grabbed the box of cigarettes, I fucking crunched it up in my hand as best I could, it was full, and opened the window of the van. I'm sorry, I know it's littering. And I threw it out the window of the van and gone on the road. And I said, that's it, I'm done. And I came home that evening, and I went into the little office, and the little whiteboard was there, and I wrote whatever date it was. We'll just say, for argument's sake, the 31st of May or something. Or maybe the 30th of May. I don't even know if it's 31 days of May. And just wrote the date and put under it day of, I read something really silly like day of revelation or day of reckoning or something. And that little whiteboard, that date was wrote on that whiteboard. I never rubbed that out, and I still have that whiteboard somewhere if I could find it. It's probably rubbed out by now because there'd be those old markers that would rub out. And I left that up on the wall. That was there for years. I had that whiteboard with me, and I used to look at that date. I put up, say we said the 30th of May is 00 or something like that. And that was it. And that was me done with cigarettes. But the funny thing about cigarettes is you're never done with the fuckers, because I used to be then when I was in the NCT, and I was testing the cars, and every now and again some fella would come in, and this is back again, this has gone back 20 years from now, so I was still off at that time, 10 years, and every now and again there'd be 20 carols there in the front of the car, so there'd be a smoker. You'd always pick up the box and open it, and I'd smell it. You'd smell the carols, and I used to say, oh, my old friend, and you'd be tempted, I'm telling you. You'd still, and as natural as you could, no matter how long you'd be off them, take one out, put it into your mouth, and have no drag. Yeah. But thankfully it's something now that I will never again. But the reason I would never again smoke was I always said it afterwards. It was so hard to get off them. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. That if I started smoking again, I could never put myself through what I went through to come off them again. I always said if I start again, I smoke for life. And that's what kept me off them. Was like that. I couldn't ever again go through that. Ever. Because I even to this day, I don't know, people use words like PTSD and all this. I have some, I get, I suppose, so nervous, and my whole mood changes when I start thinking about that period of my life, about coming off of them. It was really, really difficult. The upside of it is that what it did show me was that if I always said if I could, once I had that done, I was capable of anything. It gave me confidence and courage to take on or try anything after that. And years later, when I became addicted to coffee, which I did, caffeine and coffee, which is a completely different story for a different day that I won't go into. But it gave me this, after I give up cigarettes, I knew I could give up anything, and I gave up coffee as well. And that wasn't, to be fair, it wasn't that difficult. It was nothing like the cigarettes, but it was still a challenge in its own way, And I suppose again, like giving up the cigarettes gave me enough confidence. I take on anything. You actually felt that day of reckoning that I'm on about, the day of revelation, we call it. I felt on top of the world that day, euphoric. I did it. Just like I knew I'd won then. You know, that day when you know you won, I've won. There's nothing that fucking man, that nicotine can say to me now. There's nothing Carol cigarettes can say to me to get me back. I'm done. They're gone. It's over. They're out of my life and gone. And it was such a huge sense of achievement, because I suppose I never played sports, or never, in different ways, never achieved much in my life, you know, or I wouldn't have seen myself, you know, I never stood in too many podiums or anything. So this was such a huge thing. And the other side of it then, which you have to be very careful, it actually makes you, for a while, look at other people that smoke, and you feel, and this is not something that you carry with you for your life, but there's a period afterwards when you're reveling in the whole thing, and you actually, you feel almost superior to them, like, you know, because I did it, they didn't, you know, I managed it and they didn't, and that's an awful wrong thing to do, but it goes on for a while. It's all part of maybe feeling your, I suppose, your sense of achievement or whatever else, you know. And I know, geez, that doesn't last a long time, but I'm just saying there was a while when I used to look at smokers and go, you know, pity, you know, like poor old like Mr. T, pity the fool, you know, which you don't anymore. But I'm just saying that you have to understand. I understand smokers. No, do I what? I have to find my way now to the car park. Which particular one? Do you know what? It's so long since I've been up here now and into this. There's obviously 3 car parks here, and my one is in front of the old terminal. You know, so if you're parking, and I can't remember whether I'm red or blue or green. I'd say I'm off down here to the left. Yeah, the old terminal is on the bow there, look. You can pick up that's the old terminal. They never did anything with that. It's strange, isn't it? To be a sight to knock it, because there's a lot of memories had there. Yeah, I'm off down here. Express Red, that'll do me. As far as I know. I'm the Express Red kind of guy. And hopefully now I've paid my credit card. You prepay all this. And your card is supposed to let, the credit card you pay with is supposed to let you in. But sure, the last time I came here, that didn't work. It was a right kerfuffle trying to sort it out afterwards. Anyway, I've loads of time. Anywhere I go, I've loads of time. You may be sure of that. Eddie Piper is always on time, and he always has loads of time. If I'm rushing, there's something really, really badly wrong. I always like to give myself time when you're travelling, because you don't know what could happen. Sure, you could get a puncher coming up the road or anything. What the hell is going on there now? Reservation in a different car. I have a reservation in a different car park. It's West Red. Oh, he's not. Well, fuck off. He's not a reservation in a different car park. Press for ticket. What the fuck is going on there now? Express Red. Look at that. Express her too. I think I have to be Express Red, sure. Fucking. Back over here now, and see, this is what happens. And if I take a ticket off and then I'd be paying the fuckers money then again. So carry on, you know. Sorry, excuse my French. I'm going to pull up here now for 1 minute because I have time and get out my reservation there and see. Maybe I'm in the wrong car park, am I? Oh, I could be in the other one. Really don't know. Then go up here now, we'll see. 1 second. I'll pull in here and I might get back and tell you what happened. Yeah, that was my mistake. I booked the Holiday Blue. That's the big long-term one. That's about half a mile away from the terminal. I don't ever book that. I always book the red one here. And because I paid €24 for this Holiday Blue, I have no other choice now but to go for it. Because I wouldn't, I suppose they wouldn't give me the money back. Although, you know, to be fair, the last day, it wasn't I made the mistake the last day, but they were very good the last day. They never giving the money back afterwards. But I'll have to go into this one now. This is the long term one. Sure, I'm only there for a bloody day. It makes no sense for me to be going here. But I'll go into it because I've paid for it. Sure, what else can I do? Anyway. Do you know what is that's I want to be, that's a learning curve now. I want to be learning now, wouldn't I? I want to be getting a bit of a brain on me. But he says, I should know better than that. I have no excuse now for making that mistake. I really don't. That was an awful, idiotic, stupid thing I didn't know. And you can only call it as it is. And I know they say you shouldn't be calling yourself stupid, but sure, I mean, I don't mean it in any bad way, but because I made that mistake myself. And I know I don't mind paying the few euro to get near the terminal. But you know, the upside is this is all part of it now. I have time. You know, do you understand me? You see, that's a very short term one there. I'd normally go in there if I was only going overnight as well. Do you know what I was thinking? Do you know, the old head will be fried. And yeah, hopefully this one won't let us in. We'll have a 2-mile walk then. Or if I get a shuttle bus for sure, I'd walk away. I don't care. I don't care about that. Just recognise me now. I do look, it recognises you, know, that is prepaid. Open the barrier. Welcome on board, Captain. Yeah. Could I get anyone near an exit? No. Could I say, Jesus, this whole place is empty because there's no one in their right mind want to come this far up. At least there's plenty of parking spaces. Oh, Jesus, lads. We'll drive around here now, see can we get near the thing that we could jump over a fence or something to get down. I was only up here years ago when we were going away somewhere foreign. You see, where's the exit? No, the terminal. Look, you can walk down there, look. So we'll try and, look, you see, you can walk down there, look. Second, we'll try and get rid of the parking down here somewhere. We can't down. Okay, they're all the same. I see the terminal, walk down there, look. They're all the same. An idea here now. And the bloody shivers. Let's see, can we find anywhere close by here? There's no outfit, we're only going to have to walk. Oh, this isn't too bad. I'll park up here, look. Be fine here. I'm fine, says I. I'm fine, says I. So as I can get at the back door now. I'll park here. The grand. Now I think the back door's open. Okay. If you've stayed with me now for that little time, thank you very much. And if not, I'll see you. I'll see you on the next one. I'm off. I must catch that aluminium budgie, and I'll see you on the next one.